Hello, well in this film I'm taking a look around the Jackfield Tile works, and I have a bit of a sort of weakness really, I suppose, for nice old tiles like I do stained glass. So great fun looking around this museum. It's actually based in Jackfield, a small village which is quite near Ironbridge, so it's part of the Ironbridge Gorge Museums group, and it's an old tile works that has been largely restored and is actually producing tiles to this day. The origins of the building go back quite a long way because there's been tile making on the site since really quite early times, but I mean in the 1850s there was the Maw factory there, Maw and Co, and they were quite famous for making very nice high quality tiles. And then later on Craven Dunnill and Company set up a factory on the site, and the actual building we're looking around here was built in 1874. It's very interesting as you look around and you see all these tile designs, and this is actually a design studio with lovely fresh daylight coming in there. Must have been a very nice place to work. And in the cabinets are all the different kinds of tile styles from different artistic sort of Art Deco, Art Nouveau, etc. And this is, you can imagine looking around this one, it's one of the trade showrooms, so showing the best of the work. And the quality on these tiles, it really is quite, outstanding. I sort of just love the different designs. I particularly like the clay encaustic tiles, the ones where they pour molten clay into a mould and you get a lovely effect. Got some actually at home. The museum does have like a seconds shop as well as a proper first-rate tile shop, but it's great fun sorting through the seconds and trying to find a nice collection of tiles. Quite a lot of famous designers in some of these. You've got people like William de Morgan and other arts and crafts makers there. The tiles were usually stamped on the back so you could see who had made them, and there's one of the stamps from Maw and Co. And I've got a few old tiles which have got these sorts of stamps in the back, so it's always quite nice to know the provenance. Quality of them and the design is really quite amazing. I mean, quite a few of the tiles were done for institutional buildings, so particularly areas like hospitals, churches, pubs, where tiles became all the rage in Victorian times, partly because you could sort of wipe them down and they were seen as clean, partly because they were decorative. And there's one here of the Royal Wendy House done in tiles, rather nice scene there. And the actual sort of variety of tiles they were showing at the museum was really very interesting indeed. And you've got anything, as I say, from hospitals. So here, for example, is a typical scene. And I can remember actually my local hospital, Tunbridge Wells, it's since been pulled down, but they used to have some very nice tile displays there. They have moved a few of them to the new rebuilt hospital, but here we have a nice merry-go-round. And of course tiles were used in the home, and I used to have a house with a fireplace very similar, quite a bit smaller than that one, but the same sort of style. This one looks rather elaborate, definitely one up for the Joneses for this kind of fireplace. But again, just seeing the range. Now these are the nice encaustic tiles that I mentioned, and I've actually got those on my doorstep at home here. You may recognise this, the London Underground. And of course tiles were used in things like splashbacks. If you had a splashback on a sink unit in your room, such as this beautiful one here. I mean, look at those tiles, the actual quality of the colouring in those. They're so wonderfully artistically drawn. The firing is pretty colour perfect. They really are quite outstanding, the depth of colour. And this really is, to me, tile making at its high end, really is. The saying "a night on the tiles" probably comes from things like tiled pubs, cinemas, theatres, etc., where tiles were used a lot. But definitely the use of glazed bricks. I mean, here's a pub that they had on display, and you can see all the tiles around the bar area. No guessing what this one is. Obviously a butcher's. And I, again, can remember as a child going into butchers and seeing these sorts of scenes. You occasionally still see them today where they've been preserved, which is always rather nice. We were shown the mould store where they keep moulds for making the tiles, and you can sort of try and work out with some of those what kind of shaped tiles you had. Lovely acanthus leaves or lettering, all in a nice Victorian style. They've recently acquired a very impressive collection. It's called the John Scott collection, but it's got a huge range of tiles. John Scott sort of took the view as a schoolboy, he was encouraged to collect things. Well, he got into tile collecting, and he got into it in a really big way. So you've got all sorts of tiles. There you've got William de Morgan, anything from fairly common tiles to really extremely rare and highly sought after, highly collectible tiles. But again, beautiful, simple artistry. And the rooms went on and on with all these lovely, lovely tiles. Arts and Crafts Vosey here, nice stylized design with blackbirds. Very appealing, very simple. And of course you've got other famous makers like Minton Dolls. Beautiful again, lovely clear glazes, lovely colouring. An absolute joy to look at. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing those. See you in the next film.